Um, yeah, I just kind of want to touch base with you going into the season. I guess to start off with, last time you started the season, there were a whole different level of expectations. You hadn't burst on the scene. I guess I'm wondering, can you compare this year to last year in terms of how you feeling in terms of do you feel any added expectations, any added pressure, anything like that?
No, I would say overall no. I think no pressure. I'm kind of approaching it the same way that I did last year. That was take it day by day and try to learn something new every day, just to kind of develop. I'm taking the same approach this year. I know if as long as I'm working and being intentional every practice with everything that I'm doing on Saturdays, it'll show.
Yeah. Maybe take us through camp and what's to this point. Where do you feel you're maybe having a better camp this year than where you were in camp last season?
Definitely helps having a season of experience under your belt, and understanding and knowing the offense. Obviously last year being a freshman that just got here in the summer, I was everything was new to me. So it was a process of learning the offense and also learning the position. Whereas now, obviously, played a season as a running back, and even though the offense is a little different, the changes aren't too drastic. So, just kind of expanding my knowledge of the new offense is probably the only difference from last year in terms of how I'm approaching it. But definitely just more confident and a little more, I would say, ready for the season.
Okay, you mentioned new offense. Obviously, Coach Ingram comes in, new offensive coordinator. What are some of obviously you're not going to get into all the X's and O's. If you had to kind of summarize, what are some of the basic differences or things that people might see a little, more this year with the offense? What are some of the maybe key changes that you had to kind of work through?
As a running back, it's not much different, obviously, or honestly, but the verbiage, I would say, just how the plays are called and the different names for the plays. Basically the same thing that we ran last year, just called something different. But in terms of the pass game, protections are pretty similar, but there's some new routes that the running backs have that we've been working on a lot, whether it's out of the backfield or out wide or in the slot. I think Coach Ingram's doing a great job of putting us in those type of positions to make us a little more versatile. But overall pretty similar. I would just say now we're throwing the ball a little more, taking more shots downfield, which obviously everyone likes to see.
Yeah. Now, this is Coach Johnson's first year with running backs coach too. So, that's another added layer. Every coach has certain things that they look at, they stress, they focus on. I guess I'm wondering with Coach Johnson, what have you learned that maybe he's a stickler for, something that he really wants all the backs to really kind of hone in on?
Yeah, him being a ex-O lineman, his main thing is pass protection. So he's really done a great job with us and improving on our pass protection. He's a real big guy. He has what he calls his check step. He makes sure we do it every single play, and if we don't, it's a minus on our grade sheet. So his check step, his pass protection, all that is something that he's really tried to harp on us.
Yeah. Ches is healthy. Isaac is back. Just what, this tandem in the backfield. What do you think people can expect from this, from you three as a group?
I would obviously with Ches and Isaac back, it helps. We're all going to help each other out a lot. Picking up each other's reps, and even when somebody might be tired, just being able to tap the helmet and another guy who can get the job done goes in. I think we can all play off of each other, and I think it's great to have them back, obviously, and they've been playing very well throughout camp. So I'm excited to see them out there for sure.
Yeah, is that an adjustment when you come to college? In high school, most guys, they're used to doing everything. They're being out there every snap, and even when you're dead tired, kind of just grinding through it. When you come to this level, when you got other capable teammates, was that an adjustment to say, hey, I don't have to do it all?
Yeah, I would say it's an adjustment, but it's also beneficial in a lot more ways. Um, I think honestly it's best for us to have each other, rather than just one guy carrying the ball the whole game. I think, one guy gets a series, the next guy goes in, and then whenever you're back in, you're fresh and you're ready to go without, getting the same beating that you would if you were taking all the carries. So I think it's definitely helpful.
From what we've seen, Isaac's been a guy who stood out during camp. Where have you seen him take a stride in his game? What do you think he can add to when you guys are out and when he comes in for a play or two?
Definitely, obviously his speed. I mean, fastest guy on the team. He's definitely a guy to watch out for when he's in there, because he's a powerful guy too, so he can go in between tackles. But when he gets outside, it's over, and he can catch passes really well, run routes really well. So I think he's just another great all-around back.
It feels like there's been an emphasis for you guys to catch passes. There's been a ton of drills where you guys have kind of worked with the quarterbacks catching passes. Has that been an emphasis for you guys, kind of adding that to your game as a position group?
Yeah, that was definitely my main focus all of spring and summer. And the coaches have done a really good job. Once we expressed to them that that's something that we wanted to do, they're doing a great job of implementing that in the offense and allowing us to do that.
So is that something you guys went up to the coaches and were like, we want to add that?
I mean, yeah, when the coaches ask you, what are your goals for the season? What do you want to improve on? For me especially, it was pass catching and being an all-around back, being able to pass protect, and then obviously catch balls out of the backfield. So yeah, it's kind of a combined effort.
And when you talk about that, what are some things you focus on? Is it just a bunch of route running? Is it kind of working on coming out of breaks? What goes into that?
It's both. It's getting your hand-eye coordination down before practice. With the pad and go catch the ball over the shoulder. And then in our ND periods, it's a lot of getting out of your breaks at the top of the route, and then at the end of practice, it's mostly full go routes. So we implement a little bit of everything in terms of route running. I think it's helping a lot.
Along the lines of goals, were there any other goals you kind of set for yourself this year beyond being being a better pass catcher?
No, not really. Not individually. Just kind of want to be the best player I can be help the team win, and hopefully help lead us to a Big Ten championship.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing I have for you, just in general, people are always going to wonder how you feeling. Just how, if you have to offer a state of how Braelon Allen is feeling, a couple weeks in the camp. What is it?
I'd say I'm pretty good overall. Definitely learned how to take care of my body better. Kind of found a routine that works for me. And I think that it's definitely paying off so far. So just gonna try to continue to stay on top of that, and hopefully nail a routine down that helps me feel as good in week 12 as week 1.
Yeah, during the spring, you mentioned recovery was a part of your emphasis during off season. What kind of went into that, and what were you trying to do to get better at that aspect?
I think reaching out to the resources I have. Past running backs that have came through here and have stayed healthy throughout their career. Just talking to them, finding out some things that they did. Obviously, recovery is all about what works for you and your body, but just kind of getting some tips and advice on what some of these guys did that helped them and they found beneficial for them, and kind of trying to play around with it, see what works best for me.
Has there been anything that has especially been effective that you're thinking like, wow, that's really making a difference?
Yeah, I would say, well, I did it last year, but not as often. Just kind of like, kind of massage therapy, having them work different parts of my body and different things. Sometimes the soft tissue, sometimes the deep tissue, just switching it up depending on how I'm feeling. And, I can definitely tell the difference.
Deep into camp now, have you felt the O-line kind of gel now and catch its stride? Or what do you feel like the group could be during the season?
Honestly, I think they can be dominant, and I see it every day at practice. I mean, sometimes they have a down day, as well as us backs, but we're also playing one of the top defenses in the country every day, so it's not, you can't really compare practice to what they're going to do in the game, because it's a completely different thing. but I think overall, I've loved what I'm seeing from them, and I think they can be one of the best groups in the country.
And then last question for me: have you seen any difference in Graham this year? Where have you seen him take a jump in his game?
Graham has definitely made a lot of strides. I think, especially as a leader, and kind of being the guy that us in the huddle look to. When stuff's going wrong, stuff's going good. He's the guy who to keep us in the moment. He's very, very poised, and I admire that about him. Never too high, never too low. It's always lock in on this play, do your job right here, and then he goes out and delivers.